Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuhu Musimban. I am Jazz Campilan Manyosa and we are going to tackle about the pest and disease management, harvesting, drying, and storage. So, let's proceed to this topic. Weeds, pests, and diseases can reduce maize yields if not properly managed and controlled. Weeds compete for light, water, and nutrients and need to be eradicated early and managed throughout the growing season. Pests and disease can affect maize crops year round. Farmers need to monitor fields regularly to identify and prevent them. Here's an overview of a common maize pest and disease problem and how to combat them before they decimate your crops. Downy mildew is an infection that occurs early in the season. One of the most destructive diseases to maize, downy mildew results in stunted plants that usually die. If it does occur later in the season, downy mildew often results in partial or complete loss of yield. Downy mildew can be controlled by planting resistant varieties, synchronous planting, destroying infected plants, treating seeds, or spraying plants with fungicide. The corn borer is the most destructive pest of maize. The larvae feed on leaves, causing a characteristic shot hole appearance. Then they burrow into the stalk, tassels, and ears, resulting in severe yield losses. The corn borer can be controlled by synchronized planting, detasseling, use of selective insecticides, use of genetically modified hybrids like BT corn, use of biological control agents like trichogramma. Female trichogramma wasps inject their own eggs into the egg of the corn borer. Once inside, the larvae feed on the corn borer egg, leaving it with no chance to hatch. If you discover 3 to 4 corn borer egg masses in a random sample of 100 plants, cardboard capsules containing host eggs with developing trichogramma should be installed in the maize field at a rate of 50 to 70 cards per hectare. It is important to release trichogramma within 20 to 25 days after planting. This is the period when the corn borer eggs are newly laid and still full of the fluid which the egg parasite feeds on. Harvesting maize at the right maturity is important to improve grain quality and prevent considerable production losses. Maize becomes physiologically mature at about 7 to 8 weeks after silking. The appearance of a black or brown layer at the base of the kernel where it touches to the cob signals that the transport of food into the kernels has stopped. When this occurs, there is no more increase in the weight of the kernel. The black layer first appears in kernels at the base of the ear. An individual ear can be considered mature when at least 75% of the kernels in the central part of the ear has formed a black layer. Outwardly, a mature maize plant can be identified by yellowing of the leaves, drying, and yellowing of the husk, and grains that are hard and shiny. This maize, now fully mature, is ready to harvest. The typical moisture content of the grain at this stage is around 30 to 35%. To avoid kernel damage during the shelling operation, Grain moisture should be in the range of 18 to 24%. For this reason, maize is often left to dry standing in the field 1 to 2 weeks beyond physiological maturity before harvesting. This practice is acceptable as long as the weather permits and losses due to rodents, birds, or diseases do not become a problem. Shelled maize grains should be dried to 14% moisture or less for safe storage. Drying reduces losses during storage from causes such as premature germination of the grain, development of molds, and proliferation of insects. Grains can be dried under the sun, which usually takes 1 to 3 days depending on initial moisture content and weather condition. Harvest at the right time and keep the correct moisture content prior to the grain storage to reduce post-harvest losses. That's all. Thank you.